So today, let's make this animation inside of Davinci Resolve.
To a wide variety of audience. So within the first 24 hours,
This is completely done in Davinci Resolve Fusion. The assets as well as the project file will be there in the description. So if you want to follow along, do download them. So in this clip, we have three elements: the background, the video reel, and the screenshot file. Everything else can be easily created in Fusion itself. For an example, the cinematic fonts as well as the blinking target points can be easily done by playing around with these few nodes in Fusion. But let's leave all of that to the later part of the video and start everything from scratch. So over here, I have a 1920 by 1080p resolution window with a 24 fps timeline, and the Fusion clip duration is almost 19 seconds. So the first thing we should do is to drag a normal Fusion composition layer from the effects panel and extend its length to almost this much. Now select the layer and go to our Fusion tab. Inside of Fusion tab, the very first step to do is to make our composition into a 3D one. For that, add these following nodes. And in order to add these nodes, press and hold on Ctrl key and click on spacebar. Now let's search for these nodes. The first one is the Render 3D, then the Merge 3D, Camera 3D, and the Image Plane 3D. Now let's connect all of these nodes and create our first 3D scene. For that, connect the Render 3D and Image Plane 3D to the Merge 3D node, and then connect the Merge 3D to the Render 3D, and finally the Render 3D to Media Out. And just like that, our 3D scene has been created. But the canvas is empty, so let's bring in our background image. For that, just drag and drop the background image from the assets folder and connect it to the Image Plane 3D. Even after doing that, we can't really see anything, right? This is because our camera and the media file is sitting at 0, 0, 0 axis. In order to adjust that, click on Camera 3D and under the Transform tab, change the Z value to a positive number. This one is a pro tip. In order to preview our background image, just drag and drop the file into a secondary window which can be accessed by clicking this button over here called as Viewer. Now just drag and drop our media file into the window to preview it. Or you can click on these tiny buttons to send your preview to the secondary or primary windows. So far, we are making progress. But the background image is a little bit too bright and distracting, so we need to color correct it and make it partially visible. For that, add a color corrector node in between the Image Plane 3D and the Media 1 node. Now let's make our background a little bit darker. Slightly increase the contrast to 1.09 and decrease the grain all the way down to 0.29. The lift should be at minus 0.03 and finally the gamma at 1.02. You can leave the brightness as it is because our background looks fine as wine at this moment. But it is missing a cinematic element, which is the film grain. If we add that effect into the background, this will look a little bit more rusty and alive. So let's quickly search for our film grain node and change these values. The size should be at 0.7, strength should be at 0.2 and roughness at 0.17. And finally, our background is ready. Now let's add the second element to the scene, which is this fancy video reel I found on Instagram. Just for keeping the nodes a bit more organized, I'm going to add a Merge 3D node and connect it to our first Merge 3D. Now let's drag and drop the video reel into our nodes window and connect it to a separate Image Plane 3D. But you can see that we have a problem right here. I guess it's called clipping, so in order to fix this overlapping clipping error, click on the Image Plane 3D connected by the video reel and increase the Z value a little bit in the Transformation tab. If you want a better view of what's happening within the scene, just play with the Z value of the Camera 3D, or you can also decrease the scale value of the Image Plane 3D associated with the video reel. This step is completely up to you, but I'm going to mask the video reel and give it those round edges with a rectangular node. So after selecting the rectangle node, I've increased the width to 0.951 and length to 0.977. This is because the video had these small edges which didn't look that nice. And finally, I have changed the corner radius to 0.092 to give it that rounded edgy look. And just like that, our video reel is also perfectly masked. Now let's add a text file which acts like the video reel's title and then move on to editing the screenshot file. In order to add a text node, search for text plus node and add it to the node window. After that, add an Image Plane 3D and connect it to Merge 3D to preview the text. But wait, you can't see anything, right? This is because you have to actually type something. I'm gonna type my first shorts video as the main text. But again, there is this clipping problem happening within the scene. So let's do the same thing which we did earlier to fix the issue. The next thing to do is to change the font into a cinematic one. And for that, I have selected a font called Niagara Solid. The font looks perfect, but it needs a bit more character. For that, go towards the shading tab and under element 1, change the shading type to gradient. So we are going for a black and white look and we need a bit of black in the bottom. So click on the left hand side of the shading gradient and change the color to a darker grayish color. Now select the right hand side of the slider and bring it 1/3 the way to create that smooth cinematic color. So our text is also done. So let's quickly move on to editing the screenshot. And before adding the screenshot, let's clean up the timeline. And for that, let's click on the text layer and disable it by clicking on this switch. And let's do the same thing with the video reel as well. For now, we have our background image and it's the perfect time to bring in our screenshot file. The drills are the same. Drag and drop the screenshot, add ImagePlane 3D, connect it both to a new Merge 3D node, fix the clipping, scale it down a bit, and we are good to go. The next step would be to make our screenshot image a bit too transparent. For that, let's go to ImagePlane 3D and under Controls, let's expand the blend mode and change the software blend to screen. Now let's make our screenshot a bit more appealing. For that, we are gonna add a glow node in between the media file and the ImagePlane 3D. And it immediately makes our screenshot stands out a bit. But we are not satisfied yet. We are gonna add another glow node and play around with few settings. It can look a bit weird right now, but don't worry about it. In the end, the results will be so satisfying. So in the second glow node, change the glow size to 44.5 and change the glow to 0.922. Take the blend all the way down to 0.058. Now what we are going to do is to add a semi-transparent background to give our screenshot a glossy look. And for that, we are going to add an ImagePlane 3D node with the background node. We can curve the background edges with the rectangular mask, and after that we can change the opacity of the background node inside of ImagePlane 3D to 0.6. And thus we have a clean looking screenshot. Now change the background color to a darker grey shade and we are good to go. Now let's transition our workflow into animating few elements. Remember the blinking target points I mentioned in the beginning of the video? Let's animate it first. For that, we have to search for an ellipse node and place it on our nodes window. Then add a background node followed by an ImagePlane 3D. After that, add a Merge 3D node and one part of our blinking target point is ready. But before that, we have to resize the ellipse with respect to the screenshot. These ellipse values can change depending on how much you have scaled the screenshot. But for me, it is 0.025 on both width and height of the ellipse. One pro tip would be to add an expression to mimic the same values for both height and width, which means that you don't have to manually change the height and width values every single time. You can use an expression which is like a formula that changes the values at the same time. For using an expression, right click on the height or width text and select expression. Now click and hold on the press button and drag and drop it to the width. So at this point, if you change the width settings, the height also changes, giving us a perfect circle in our preview window. By now you might be thinking like, why do you have to do all these steps? We could just type the same values in both the boxes for keeping it simple, right? Well, if you wanted a simple circular shape, then copy pasting or trying the same values can help. But we are going to animate the ellipse, and if you don't apply an expression like this, we will have to manually adjust both values over and over again to our continuous animation. Alright guys, so I'll explain what I mean in a minute, but before that we have to add one Merge 3D node. Also, why we are adding two Merge 3D nodes is that this Merge 3D node becomes the parent node which will control all the elements we are about to add to the screenshot. And the second Merge 3D node just controls the ellipse, the circular animation as well as the text we are about to add to the scene. So more flexibility and less headache. Now let's create our outer circular thing and animate it. For that, just copy paste all the nodes associated with the first ellipse and paste it. Now connect it to Merge 3D. And after that, select the second ellipse node, uncheck the solid box over here and increase the border width to a smaller value like 0.0025. Now if we increase the width, we have this smooth ring around our first ellipse. Now animating this ring is actually pretty simple. Move the playhead to the very first frame, which is on frame 0. And click on the keyframe dot on the right hand side of the width settings and copy this value, which is 0.0025. Now move the playhead to the 36th frame, or you can just type 36 on this box. And after that, add another keyframe on the width. Now increase the width to 0.097 and go to the next frame, which is the 37th one, and paste the value which we copied in the very first frame, which is 0.0025. And our blinking animation is 95% done. So what happens here is that the circle slowly scales all the way up to the 36th frame and suddenly disappears. In order to make it a smooth, satisfying movement, we have to play with the animation curves, and for that, open the spline window by clicking on the top right hand corner. Now check the ellipse 1_1 box or the name of the ellipse which we just animated. And in order to have a better view, click on the zoom to fit button. Now we all have something like this on our screen. In order to smooth things out, click on the first frame and press S on your keyboard. Now click on this handle and take it all the way up here. Now let's do the same procedure with the keyframe point on our 36th frame, which is to select the point and press S on our keyboard. Now let's adjust the curve a tiny bit and make sure it looks something like this. Perfect. Now select all these points and click on this button called Set Loop. And if you preview it, our animation will look something like this. Pretty cool, isn't it? Now with the help of our magic node, let's carry our animated circle onto the screenshot. If you want a better view, just drag and drop our parent merge node to the second viewer and adjust it there. Now make sure the screenshot as well as our animated circle are barely touching each other. One small thing we can do is to go to our image plane 3D connected by our animated ellipse node and change the opacity all the way down to our 36 frame. Which means that on frame 1 the opacity will be at 100%, on frame 36 it will be 0%, and on frame 37 it will be again 100%. So it's more like the further the circle moves away from the center, the less visible it will be. Now let's set this to loop by selecting the opacity curves and clicking on this button. And thus one part of our animation is done. Now we need one more text node for labeling what our blinking point is all about. We don't need to put much effort into creating a new text node or stylizing it from scratch. We can just copy our previous text node along with the image plane 3D and connect it to our merge plane 3D 6. I have also changed the text to face 1. Now let's scale it down a bit and reposition it under our blinking animation. And just like that, our screenshot is ready. Now let's move on to our final animation. And for that, let's firstly start with our camera movement. The camera is placed in a tilted isometric kind of view. So it's not placed directly on top, the camera is rotated in both X, Y and Z direction to give it a view like this. And in my opinion, it feels more cooler than the top view animation. So in order to have a view like this, click on Camera 3D, go to Transform and under Rotation, keep in mind, under Rotation Properties, set your X values to 30, Y values to -10 and Z value to -35. Now the assets are off-centered. So let's play with the translation X, Y and Z to bring it back. One more issue that we might face would be this empty spaces happening in the corners. In order to fix that, scale your background by clicking on the image plane 3D and increasing the scale value to 3 or 4. Also on our semi-transparent background, I've increased the C value to 0.104. This was because the background as well as the screenshot was having a bit of gap. And finally, we have a cool isometric 3D scene. Now let's switch on our previous assets, which was this video reel and the text file. More about the animation. The animation plays like this. First, the video reel will come sliding into the scene from the top right hand corner and stops at the center. Now our screenshot slowly appears on the reel's right hand side. And after that, our text is also shown. And then the camera slowly starts to go backward along with the screenshot coming towards the camera. And thus the isometric nature of the screenshot is fixed. And after that, the camera zooms in all the way to the screenshot's corner and does this rotational pan kind of movement. And right after that, our phase 1 text appears. So less talking, more action. So we have already fixed our camera angle. Now let's bring in our video reel from the top right hand corner. Before that, add a new merge 3D node and connect the image plane 3D of the video reel as well as the image plane 3D of the text node to the new merge 3D. This is for controlling both the elements at the same time. The text also needs to be resized. So let's play around with the X, Y and scale values. Keep in mind to not touch the Z value because it will look a little bit weird if you change that. And finally, these are the values I ended up with. It might be a little bit different for you or it can be exactly like this, so do try them out. The position of the title for the reel is done. Now let's bring it to the center and scale it up a bit inside our merge 3D node. And in order to find the center portion inside our viewer, use the short key Ctrl+G. And after playing around with these settings, these are the values I ended up with. Now go to the 76th frame, select our merge 3D and under transform options, add a keyframe on both translation X and rotation Z. I have added rotation because our animation will have that smooth natural feel as if we are sliding a car to the center of the table. Alright, now let's go to the very first frame and take the video reel to the corner by increasing the X value. After that, I will change the rotation value to +40 and if you preview your animation, it will look something like this. Now inside our spline window, uncheck everything else, like our ellipse curves, image plane 3D curves, etc. And only switch on the curves associated with our merge 3D node. Now select all these points, click on S on your keyboard to smoothen the curves and also click on T to bring in the ease in and out options. Now increase the ease in values to 100% and leave the ease out values as it is, which is at 33%. And after doing that, our animation is 10 times smoother now. Next thing to do is to scale down our screenshot and place it on the right hand side of our video reel. And for that, click on this merge 3D node and scale it down accordingly. And after that, move it to the side and reposition it. These are the values I got for both X, Y and scale. Now let's animate the opacity for our screenshot and background. And for that, go to the 65th frame, add a keyframe on the opacity slider inside of the video reels and the background's image plane 3D and bring it all the way down to 0. And now go to the 80th frame, bring the opacity back to 1 for the screenshots image plane 3D, and for the background one, bring the opacity back to 0.6. Because that's the value we set to have that glossy semi-transparent look. Now, inside our spline window, uncheck the Merge 3D node and select both these opacity curves, and let's do the same thing which we did earlier. Don't worry about the blinking circular target points as well as the text. We will animate it later. Now let's go to the Merge 3D node which is connected to our screenshot element and go to frame number 118. Then click on the keyframe button for translation XYZ, rotation XYZ, and also on the scale. Now let's move to the 290th frame and replace the values with our old camera isometric values, which are +30 for X, -10 for Y, and -35 for Z. Repositioning can be a bit tricky, so use my values for the translation XYZ, which are -0.1197 for X, -0.0773 for Y, and +0.25 for Z. And the scale value is 1.133. Now let's uncheck the previous image plane 3D curves in the spline window and just activate our Merge 3D node. You will see all these nodes, but our drill is the same. Select all these points, click S, press T if you can't see the ease in and out option, and change the ease in to 100%. And just like that, our screenshot will come towards the camera and be in its perfect form. Also, while animating, there was a small issue with the screenshot just jumping out the video reel. So in order to fix that, I had to go back to the 118th frame and change the screenshot 3D merge values to these values. Everything else is the same, so don't worry about it. Now let's fix the blinking circular point. And it's really easy. Just go to the background node of the blinking animation and just change the global in value to 245. Do the same thing with the second background as well. So what happened here is that till the 245th frame, the background which powers our ellipse node to show this blinking animation will be turned off. And it will be only turned back on after the 245th frame. So that's sorted. Now for the zoomed in camera movement, let's go to the 379th frame and turn on all keyframe points inside our 3D camera. So translation XYZ and rotation XYZ should be turned on. And after that, on the next frame, which is 380th frame, change the value of the translation X to -0.4414, Y to -0.3533, and Z to +0.808. Now for the rotational value, X is +26.86, Y equal to 6.99, and Z equal to -10.45. I suddenly feel like I'm teaching math to you guys, but it's fun. Now let's go to the very last frame and change the translation values of X, Y, and Z to these numbers and rotation X, Y, Z to these numbers. And just like that, our circular pan movement is also animated. Now we are going to smoothen the curves. This is actually optional. If you want to do it, or you can leave it as it is. So for that, select the points on the 380th frame and also all the points on the very final frame and click on S to smoothen it out. A small text animation also happens in between all of this, and that's on our phase 1 text node. So for that, select the text node in which phase 1 is written. Now just add a rectangular node and connect its out point to the text node mask. After that, select the rectangular node which acts as a mask and change the soft edge values to 0.12. Also increase the height and width to its maximum. Now go to the 400th frame and add a keyframe on the center X and Y. Now decrease the X value to -0.617, and after that go to the 433rd frame and change the center X values to 0.5. Now inside our spline window, uncheck the camera 3D box and enable our rectangular box. Select the points and hit S on your keyboard. Ease in 100% and our text reveal animation is ready. We can do the same animation for our previous video reels title as well. And here is a challenge for you. Animate this portion by yourself, because if you have reached till this point, I'm pretty sure you can do it all by yourself. I'll give you the in and out point, so the animation starts at the 70th frame and ends at the 130th frame. Congratulations on completing a ZyckWealth tutorial. I wish you all the best for your future. If you're having any doubts, do comment them below. If you run into any issues, please do rewatch the video. The assets for this edit will be down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye and take care.